Good morning, and welcome to the Derby Greenway. Today we come together to celebrate the success of this magnificent addition to our city and our valley, and to dedicate a beautiful new plaza and the Derby Hall of Fame. My name is Jack Walsh, and I'm honored to serve as the chairman of the Derby Greenway Committee and be your master of ceremonies for this morning. Today, our present, our past, and our future all converge at this great new plaza, which symbolizes the great history of one of our country's smallest and oldest cities. Derby's formal history dates back to 1675, when it was chartered by the state of Connecticut. And we'll be recognizing some very special people who contributed so much to shaping that history through some remarkable personal achievements. The opening of the Derby Hall of Fame on this public greenway, which has captured the pride and imagination of our city and region, is very fitting, and we'll make that clear as we move through the morning. And who better to start conveying that message than our Mayor Anthony Staferi, who's been a major supporter of the enhancements being unveiled here since his term started. I'm looking at the mayor this morning. He looks quite dapper. Actually, I think he looks a little bit uncomfortable. But you should have been here 24 hours ago, when Aldermanic President Ken Hughes was cracking the whip with the mayor as part of his work crew completing the landscape that you see behind me. You can see pictures of that on the city website, but I think it's time for us to hear directly from our mayor, Mayor Anthony Staferi.
Thank you, Jack. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day, huh? This is just resembles Derby all the way. Today is a historic day for our Derby. We are about to dedicate our Hall of Fame and its first inductees. We will celebrate the offering of our love and the dedication of our plaza filled with memorial bricks and our benches located along the Greenway. We will officially activate our historic fountain. Before we do that though, I would like to take a minute to recognize some very special people. We have in our company a man whose dedication to Derby is unquestionably remarkable. He has been a motivator of the completion of our Greenway, Phase 1. His involvement with Greenway Phase 2 has brought us to today. And his commitment to the Greenway Phase 3, a $1.4 million addition, will lead us into the future. Words don't exist to express my admiration and respect for Jack Walsh. So I don't have to say, let's give a clap to Jack. May I also thank each member of the Board of Aldermen. Without their votes and their support, we would not be here today. We have Alderman Hughes, Alderman DeBarberi, Bamba, Sevchek, and Mr. Sell there. And I have to thank Alderman Hughes there for letting me play in the dirt yesterday, which I had a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I got to do that. If we didn't do this yesterday, all this great planting that's been done wouldn't have been here today. I thank you for letting me have some fun. The wind is something else there. It's good. Keeps us cool. May I also thank our State Senator Joe Crisco, State Representative Linda Gentile, and State Representative Themis Claridis. Linda is here with us. Joe Crisco wasn't able to come, and Themis, she's homesick, so she wanted to be here. She's still trying to get here. They have always been here for us in all ways, but especially when we have asked them for money to fund this spectacular Greenway. May I also acknowledge the Akabachi family for their contribution of the plastic bags for our dog owners. And may I also try to keep everybody happy now. May I also thank Walter Mayhew and his Christian Community Church for their spectacular efforts in adopting our Greenway as their beautification project. I know I've seen Walter here with his family. We thank you. And last but most certainly not least, may I mention my friend Paul Lane. Paul unfortunately passed away May 23rd, 2005. He was a man with great vision and wisdom. It was Paul Lane who initiated the successful application for the federal funding for the Greenway Phase 1. I hope Paul is looking down upon us at the moment with a huge smile on his face, indicating the pride he so rightfully deserves. Thank you, Paul. Our fountain was given to the city by the National Humane Alliance. It served as a watering trough for horses and was first located at the junction of Seymour Avenue. I was just going to call Ken Houston, since he's always putting me to work. The water was first turned on by Mayor Hubble on June 1st, 1906. We celebrate the initial inductees to our Hall of Fame. There are 11 truly great Derby people. They have been the foundation of our great city. They represent an example of what Derby is capable of producing. We have produced well in the past and continue to do so in our present, and we will in our future. Our plaza now has more than 125 bricks purchased not only by Derby residents, but as far away as Australia. We also dedicated 13 benches along our greenway. As you walk our greenway, please take note at the engraved plates of each bench. Our new Hall of Fame, our historic fountain, our plaza with the bricks, our greenway with the benches dedicated to loved ones, all very historical. All has been a work of love for many wonderful neighbors. It is all very symbolic of what we and our city are all about. We have love for our home, we love our family, and we love our city. I'm almost finished. Thank you. We respect those who have come before us, and we work to make our society better for those who succeed us. It is my honor to serve you as your mayor, and I thank you for that honor.
Thank you, Mayor, for your incredible support of this great project. The mayor is the captain of the team that makes these projects happen, but he's not the only player. There are quite a few that have been involved in the success here, as he's pointed out. This phase 2, the enhancement phase of the project, was originally funded by a federal grant authored by Rick Dunn and the Valley Council of Governments. We want to thank them for their effort. Those funds had to be matched, though. Okay, there had to be a local match. And I want to thank our legislative delegation, the mayor's alluded to, because they went out and they got the matching dollars needed to complete this project. And I'd like to introduce a member of that local delegation, Linda Gentile, has been a supporter from day one. Linda? More money.
Thanks, Jack. You can tell that I left my pocketbook in the car, so I don't have any cash on me today, fellas. Good morning, everybody. You know, first of all, I'd like to start by thanking the administration of this wonderful city, the local legislative body, and the federal delegation, and of course my colleagues in the state, Representative Claridis and Senator Crisco. You know, you should be very, very proud of what you have here. And the only thing that I would like to say is that I am extremely proud and very, very, very humbled to be in the presence of such wonderful and giving and caring individuals. And I only hope and I pray that in my life as public service, that maybe I can leave a legacy as these people have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. Linda's also a regular walker out here, as is the mayor. You know, if you really want to talk to the mayor, get out here early, because he usually walks before he goes to work in the morning. Okay, now on to some the serious business of the day. The mayor has already told you some of the story of the fountain, which I was going to do, so I'm going to have to shorten that a little bit. But This really started out of driving by this fountain all the time, which was up on the green, the Colonial Town Green. And thank goodness that the city fathers had the foresight when they removed it from its original site over on Atwater and Seymour Avenue. They didn't destroy it. They put it up on the green. Unfortunately, we kind of forgot about it there for a while, and it was abused, and the line's heads were missing. And driving by one day, I said, geez, I remember that fountain, but I don't know what it was. And the only plate on it is what you see right in front. 1906, presented by the National Humane Alliance, Herman Lee Ensign, founder. Herman Lee Ensign made a fortune in advertising. And when he died, he left a legacy to fund something. He didn't know what. It was his wife who actually determined that legacy would be fountains placed in cities around the country. And Derby was quite the city in 1906. And local businessmen were aware of this project, and they petitioned to get one of the first fountains. And it was delivered to the city in 1906. And Mayor Hubble did the honors, turned the water on, and it stood at the corner of Atwater Avenue and Seymour Avenue. And of course, that was the day of horse and buggy. And if you look at the design of the fountain, so you understand what we've got here, and you'll see it better when the water's turned on later. The upper level, we've got the line's heads, which are the spigots. So if someone wanted a drink of water, they could get a drink of water. I'm telling you, please don't do that today when we turn the water back on. This bowl is for the horses. That's what they drank out of. And I know the dog issue has been in the paper quite prominently lately, but we do care about our dogs in the city of Derby, as attested by these 4 bowls at the bottom. Those were for dogs and cats. Sadly, when the fountain was put on Academy Hill, people stole the line's heads. But we were very fortunate. We did a national search, and we found that there were actually 75 of these fountains around the country and one in Mexico. And then the search began to see, well, what did other people do with their fountains? And we found Rapid City, South Dakota had restored their fountain about 4 or 5 years before we started on ours. And we were able to track down a sculptor renowned for his work with Western art and with sculptors of American presidents. His name is John Lopez, and he's out again in Rapid City in South Dakota. We were able to contact him, and he fabricated those line's heads based on the original pictures that we had. And we're thrilled. He did an incredible job for us, and I'm almost embarrassed to say what we paid him. It was almost like stealing. It was a great deal, and when they're turned on, you'll see how spectacular they are. Okay. Let me get caught up here now, because the mayor stole a little bit of my thunder there. Okay, that's the history of the fountain, and the mayor will turn the water on in a little while. The Derby Hall of Fame recognizes individuals who were born, lived or worked in the city, who have made a significant contribution toward promoting the quality of life in Derby, or earned special distinction or honor in their chosen field at the state, national, or world level. We can't possibly do them justice today, but our first class of 11 honors the best of the best in Derby history. And to share that with you and to make the announcement, we've invited Venture Crew 1762, Boy Scouts of America, who are a venture crew for the Derby Historical Society. And 1762 is a very significant year for them, to make the announcements. So I'd like to call on the Scouts who are in period costume to come up and tell you who our inductees are.
Our first inductee is Ebenezer D. Bassett. He was a diplomat and a U.S. minister to Haiti and Derby's first native-born African American.
Lou DiFilippo. He was a Derby High School coach of football from 1968 to 1982. He led them to 116 wins, 30 losses, and 8 ties.
Our third inductee is Frank Gates. He was a businessman, philanthropist, and community leader.
Dr. John Ireland Howe was an inventor and mass producer who lived from 1793 to 1876.
Commodore Isaac Hull, the commander of the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, during the War of 1812.
David Humphreys was a soldier and poet, diplomat, early industrialist, 1752 to 1818.
Frances Osborne Kellogg was a businesswoman, a conservationist, and a philanthropist who lived from 1876 to 1956.
Reverend Richard Mansfield, who served for 72 years from 1724 to 1820 as an Anglican rector.
Edmund D. Strang lived from 1910 to 1995, was known as Mr. Scout, and was the longest serving Cub Master with Pack 3 in Derby.
Joseph Fighting Joe Wheeler served as both a lieutenant general in the Confederate States of America and a major general in the United States. And he became a member of the United States Congress.
Private First Class Frank P. Whittick. He was the only Valley native to have won the Congressional Medal of Honor during World War II.
And how about a round of applause for our three scouts, Adam Cleary, Alec Hughes, and Ryan Downs. And if you didn't get enough of them today, they'll be back on the Greenway the 3rd and 4th week in October. The Historical Society conducts a Legend by Lantern tour, which highlights the history of Derby, so look forward to that. Now it's almost time to cut the ribbon and turn on the water. However, we also need to recognize that there are some other enhancements on the Greenway today. We have 13 benches scattered along the Greenway, and they've been sponsored by a variety of individuals and civic and fraternal groups. Time does not permit for us to read all the names and all of the touching messages found on the plates on the benches. However, I would urge you to walk the length of the trail and pause at the benches to read what they have to say. And we also have all of this online. If you visit the Derby website, all of the engravings on all the bricks, all the benches are online. You know, the same holds true for all the bricks in the plaza. You know, read those and you'll see the pride that people have in their families and their cities. I know there's one that's not here today, just read the other day, and came in actually yesterday and said, gee, has the people's name, I'm not going to read that, but it says, thank you, City of Derby, for all the great memories that you've given us. And I think that sums up what this is all about today. If you look behind me, you see what a beautiful plaza this really is. And I needed to single out some people for their work in the last couple of days. Russ Jaffer, where are you? Rich and Russ. Our Jaffer Masonry did all this work. And I can tell you, talk about being under the gun. They literally were here from sun up to sunset for the last 4 days to make this possible. So we really do appreciate the beauty of the work that you did. And you talk about pressure. You know, we couldn't start the landscaping until the plaza was done. And great spirit of Derby, and we alluded to it before, Alderman Hughes, stand up, wave, because he not only designed the landscaping, he did the landscaping. Okay, you talk about hands-on. Again, he was here all day yesterday, making sure that this got done in time for this opening today. If you look also, besides the the bricks we have here, you'll see 2 trees that are part of this plaza, and they're ornamental period trees. Ken Hughes can tell you what that actually means. I'm not so much when it comes to the green thumb, but they're part of a separate program that the city has for planting trees in memory of people. And last year there were about a dozen trees planted up on Founders Commons, the original town green, better known as Academy Hill. But we have 2 additional trees that are part of this plaza, and I'd just like to recognize the tree to my right and your left is dedicated, the plaque will say, dedicated for a man who loved Derby, and that's Paul Lane. You heard a reference to Paul Lane before. And that's an anonymous gift from the citizens of Derby. And the one on my left and your right is for, I don't know if Andre Van Cho is here. Andre bought both a brick and a tree. Unfortunately, the brick isn't in on time, but the tree is here. I do want to recognize that's a member of his father, Andre Van Cho. Now, I just need to also recognize the other members of the Greenway Committee, because as I said, this is a team effort. And let me just say, well, right in front of me, and you can see his dedication. It wasn't easy for Dave Ahern to get here today, but you can see he's right down in front. He also has 4 bricks on the plaza. Diane Cernitsky, wave for us, please. Stan Music, Tony Sevcek, Bob Sobin. Knowing Bob, he's probably out on the trail walking. I think he does it 2 or 3 times a day. Carolyn Duhane and Scott Bolt. Okay, now it's time to stop talking and get this open. Mayor, you ready? You know, as the mayor gets ready to cut the ribbon, I'd just like to end the speaking program by invoking actually one of the bricks down in front of me, which unfortunately we have an error in and have to correct. But it sums up what the city's wish is for all of you with this Greenway. And that brick simply says, enjoy the Greenway. Mayor, time to do the honors. That's half the battle. Now the real test. We know the mayor can cut a ribbon. We want to find out, can he make water appear? Okay, Mayor, here's the real test.
Real soon now.
What's it?
Oh, somebody beat him to it. He just did it by magic. He's waved his arm.
Teamwork. Teamwork.
And there's your water flowing for the first time in half a century. Thank you for your time this morning, and please again, enjoy the Greenway.
We'll take a look at